Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCollum, and most people, if you're aware of Clement Pistols, you know that they are these little pocket and vest pocket sorts of things. Charles Clement was a gun maker in Liège, Belgium, and he made some bulldog-style revolvers, and then starting in 1903, he designed a line of little compact pocket pistols like this, some in 6.35 Browning or 25 ACP, and some of them in his own 5mm Clement cartridge. And they sold actually remarkably well. They were compact and reliable, and they were really quite popular. And then Charles Clement died in 1914, and the Clement Company didn't survive through the German occupation of World War I. However, what most people are not familiar with is the really big Clement pistol. So what we have here is a much larger Clement. And this was manufactured in 1914, right before World War I. And the hope was to get a military contract for it. It was patented in 1914, and it was actually patented in the name of Josephine Clement, as well as a second person, Josephine being Charles Clement's widow. So the hope was, of course, to maintain some patent rights to the design, because this shares some of the mechanical features that little pocket guns have. However, it is a very large, very heavy military pattern pistol chambered for the 9mm Browning long cartridge. So let me go ahead and show you this up close, because it has a super easy disassembly method. And there you have it in all of its ridiculous long-barreled glory. Looking up close, markings on the left side of the slide, automatic pistol, Clement's patent. And then we also have a batch of Belgian proof marks here on both the frame and the slide. There's a safety lever on the rear, so this is the fire position, that is the safe position, and that locks the slide in place as well. Lastly, there is a serial number on the butt of the gun, as well as on several of the internal parts. This one's number 6. We also have a numbered magazine. The magazine release is a button type down here on the back of the grip, and it is also the lanyard loop, and I'm not sure that that's the wisest combination, putting your sling on the magazine release, but that's what they did. There is a slot in the back of the frame to accept a shoulder stock. This particular gun does not have a stock, but there is one other example that's known and documented which does. Interestingly, that one stock is actually an L-shaped wooden stock, and it fits, actually it's on the bottom of that gun's holster. So this one, the holster is obviously made not to include that extra component, but that's how they attached the stock. It sat on the holster on the gun that was equipped with it. The sights are a simple half-round blade in front and a shallow V-notch in the back. So it gives you a pretty typical sight picture of this period. And then the disassembly that I had mentioned is all based on this lever on the bottom of the barrel. So we'll take the magazine out first, and then I can push this lever in, and the whole thing slides out and right off the frame. The recoil spring sits in the bottom of the frame here. We can pull that out, and then you can see that round hole into which this plug, this plunger, locks. And that's what holds, that's what limits travel of the slide going forward, and it holds the barrel in place, and it is super slick. So it locks in like that, right there. Everything else about the gun is pretty conventional. We have a typical firing pin up here. Notice the big open area. This is a shrouded-hammer type of design, just like a lot of other, well, A-bar as well as Liège-made pistols. So there's your hammer right there. And then what makes this distinctively Clement is the mechanism, the half of the disassembly that takes place at the back here. So if I hold this in place and then pull this lever out, like so, we can then let this spring open. That allows us access to our mainspring, which is also the fire control, the sear spring there. And then this plunger is what pushes on the hammer, And so that's the hammer spring right there. So all the springs are easily accessible by opening up this little section in the back of the grip. And you can see the lever and the opening section, the exact same functionality on the little pocket pistols. What astute viewers will have recognized at this point is what this pistol really resembles closely, and that is the FN model of 1903, which was FN's blowback, like military sidearm type of pistol, also in 9mm Browning long, which was actually adopted by both the Belgian and the Swedish armies. It was the 1903 in Belgian service. It was the 1907 produced under license by Husqvarna in Swedish service. And these share a lot of common elements. So they're both blowback, they both use the same cartridge. The magazines look very similar. If you were to look at this, it would be hard to distinguish it from an FN 1903 or 1907 magazine. And just the general shape and handling of the pistols is really quite similar. I do want to point out the holster with the Clement because it's kind of got some cool elements to it. There's a snap here, and we have this little detachable module of no less than 3 spare magazines, so you get 4 mags total with the gun. And these now once you take one out, the others become loose, but you got 3 mags there, and then you also can pull this, and we have an additional pouch located in the bottom of the holster, and that's for some of your cleaning supplies. And you'll notice it has this layered leather lid on it, which is stepped like that, so that when you have your magazines sitting up against it, the magazines are staggered so that you can grab 1, 2, and then 3 with relative ease when they're latched into the holster. And if that wasn't enough, it even also holds the gun. One other thing I want to point out here is how the magazine is actually constructed. So this was made of seamless tube that was pressed into this profile, and then it's easy to cut it off at the top and form some feed lips. The bottom can be a little trickier, and what people usually do is cut off the tube at the bottom and then attach a floor plate. What they did on this instead was to actually cut it off and then fold the 2 sides right here up and in. And you can see that there's no seam here. These 2 sides of the base plate are in fact extensions of the magazine wall. They folded them in and then just kind of pressed them together with a seam at the bottom. So that's kind of cool. We don't know exactly how many of these military pattern Clement pistols were made, but it was certainly a very small number. The only 2 that I'm aware of are this one, serial number 8, and also serial number 13, which came out of the Smith & Wesson collection. That actually makes sense. Smith & Wesson had licensed the rights to make the little baby Clement pistols here in the US. So the idea that they would have one, that jives. And then one other interesting thing, of course, as I mentioned, some of these did have a stock. Even this one has a stock attachment slot. And the ATF has this pistol, a 9mm Clement, listed on its exempted, its list of pistols that are exempt from NFA classification as short-barreled rifles. So there's only like one known example of that gun with a stock. The idea that ATF has it on their list is kind of an interesting curiosity, and it does maybe suggest, possibly, that the US might have actually tested this pistol at one point. That would explain the US government being aware of its existence when it's such an incredibly obscure pistol today. So, or that might not be true at all. It might be that one of the pistol's previous owners, serial number 13, whoever owned it at some point, just petitioned ATF to have it added to the exempt list. We don't know, but certainly is a possibility that this was trialed by more than just the Belgian government. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I suspect most people out there probably hadn't previously seen a 9mm Clement. So if you enjoy this sort of thing, please do consider joining up and supporting the channel directly through the website or through Patreon. It's you guys who make it possible for me to travel, find awesome guns like this, and bring them to you. Thanks for watching.